Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Traditions Homestead. My name is Kevin. Last week we did a video where we showed us doing our morning chores, and we showed Sarah milking our goat, and we got a lot of questions about the automatic milker that Sarah was using. It's actually something that I had built for her many years ago when we actually still lived in Arizona, and we had a goat there that was really hard to milk. Our goat that we have now is also very hard to milk. We're slowly working on getting her used to being milked. But when you have a goat that's extremely difficult, this automatic milker can be a lifesaver. I'll start off by saying this isn't my original design. I found this on another website many years ago, and I wish I remembered where I found it so I could give them credit. But I'm sorry, I tried to look back and I just can't find it. So today I'm just going to show you how to make my version of this automatic milking machine. It's very easy to make, but very, very effective. The main thing that we use this for around our homestead, first of all, like I said, if you have a very difficult goat, this works very well. But also, if Sarah's ever not available to milk, my hands are kind of big for our Nigerian dwarf goats. And to be honest, I just don't milk the goats enough to be really good at it. So if you are in a situation like that where suddenly someone who isn't used to milking has to do it, having one of these around as a backup, so that someone so that really anybody on the homestead can do the milking, is a real lifesaver. So let me show you the basic components, and then we'll get started putting it together. So the main part of the milking machine is one of these right here. This is a brake bleeder that you can buy at an automotive store. I think I bought this one actually at Harbor Freight, and I don't really remember how much it is. I think they're around $20. I'll look it up on Amazon and put a link in our Amazon shop to all the parts that you'll need to make this today. So that's the main thing here, and this is what you can use to actually build the suction up in the milker. The next thing you're going to need is a mason jar with a lid. You do want to use the metal lid, not one of the plastic lids, because it has to create a tight enough seal that it can actually build up suction inside of the jar. So you want to use, I like using a wide mouth because it gives me a little more room to put the hoses in, but you probably could get away with a regular mouth if that's all you have. The next thing you're going to need is a syringe. It really depends on the size of your goats to depend what size syringe you're going to need, but in general, for a Nigerian dwarf or a similar size small goat, you're going to want a 20 cc syringe. If you have larger full-size goats, you may need something else. You'll kind of want to look at a variety of sizes and also look at your goat's teats to figure out what size you're going to need. But in our case, a 20 cc syringe is perfect. I actually order these on Amazon as well. If you know someone though who's a nurse or something, they may be able to get them for you for free. Just, you know, bring one or two home, and that way you can save some money. But I think these are about less than $1 a piece on Amazon, but you have to order like 10 at a time. The last piece that you absolutely need is the tubing. Now this time I bought silicone tubing. This is food grade tubing. It's a little more flexible than standard like vinyl tubing, which is what I've used in the past. This is the one that Sarah's using right now. This is just more flexible, and it is rated food grade, so that's why I bought this time. But in the past I've always made these out of vinyl tubing, which I believe is still food grade, but it's not as flexible. So just, you know, get whatever you can and whatever you can afford. I think the vinyl is probably a little more readily available because you can get it at like Lowe's or Home Depot. The silicone I ordered on Amazon. So let me show you first the one that Sarah's currently using so you can kind of get a better understanding of how this works before we start building it. You're going to have your tubes running down through the lid of the jar, and then this is going to screw on to the jar and create a seal. Now on the current one, I have it made with two syringes, two lines going to syringes and one line going to the brake bleeder. Now Sarah only likes to milk one side of our goat at a time, which is why she wanted me to make her a new one. The new one is only going to have one of these with a syringe on it. If you're going to build it with two, then on at least one of them, you're going to want one of these little on and off switches. The reason that is so that you can put this first one on one of the teats, squeeze the thing to get it up to the right vacuum pressure, and then turn this valve off so that this stays on the teat of the goat while you put the next one on. Then you can turn this back open and you can milk both sides at once. Sarah just finds it easier to do one side at a time, so that's how we're going to do it for today. We get a lot of questions about what is the right amount of pressure to use on your brake bleeder. You want to try to keep it at about 10 to 12 psi, no more than that. Anything more than that can hurt the teats on the goat and can actually cause some bleeding, which you absolutely don't want. You do not want to injure your goat while you're doing this. So 10 to 12 psi is all you want. And I know there are some concerns as well that I've read, and some comments that we've gotten about using these on a long-term basis. You're going to need to do your own research on that. We haven't had any problems, but we really haven't used these long-term on and on the same goat. We use this either as we train the goat to get used to being milked, or like I said, if one of us has to do it who isn't normally the main milker. So you'll have to decide on the safety and effectiveness for yourself and your animals. Alright, so let's get started building the new one. We're going to take this one away for now. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is get rid of this part of the syringe. You're not going to need that. And you'll notice on these regular syringes that on the tip here, there's two parts. There's the outer part, which is the same size that this tubing is, and that's where the tubing is going to go over. But then there's also a smaller part on the inside, and you want to drill that out. So you're going to want to find a drill bit that is the same size as the inner diameter of this outside piece. Make sure your drill bit is long enough so you can drill all the way through. And then from the inside, just drill slowly. And that inside piece should come right out. And what you're left with is just a big tip on this 20cc syringe. Alright, so that's all we need to do with the syringe for right now. We'll set that aside. The next thing we need to do is drill our holes into the lid for the mason jar. What you want is a drill bit that's smaller than the outside diameter of this tubing, because you're going to want to really force it through this lid so that it creates a really tight seal. Because remember, it has to be able to hold pressure inside of this jar when you're pumping on the vacuum kit here. So we're going to drill two holes, one for the tube that'll go to here and one for the tube that will go to the goat. And as much as possible, try to make sure you don't have any real sharp edges. If you do, you're going to want to take a little piece of sandpaper or a file and file that down, because you don't want it to cut into your tubing. Alright, so now that we have our holes drilled, we're just going to cut our tubing to the right length. Again, this is kind of personal preference. Sarah kind of told me what she thought of the current one, so I'm going to make the sizes just a little bit different. I'm going to make the line that goes to the syringe 4.5 feet long. The current one was 4 feet long, and she thought it was just a little bit too short. So I'm going to make this one 4.5 feet. And then I'm going to make the one that goes to the vacuum 3.5 feet. Alright, so now that we have those cut, we're going to put them through the lid. And again, this should be pretty tight. You may have to kind of bend the tubing to force it through the hole here to start with, and that's fine. And you want to put this through about, I don't know, 1.5 inches or so. through the tube, through the lid. Then we're going to use our ring from our mason jar. Slide that down over like this, and we can secure that to our jar. Alright, so now the shorter hose goes here to the vacuum. And the longer hose goes here to our syringe. And these should fit snugly, because again, they need to be able to hold suction. I'm hoping that these, because this is the silicone, will be snug enough on its own. If it's not, then we're going to have to either put like a zip tie or something to really hold that in place, or even some epoxy, which is what I did on the first one that I made with the vinyl tubing. So the main thing is this has to be an airtight seal. It absolutely has to be airtight here and on both of these. So really, pretty much we're done at this point. I'm going to test this out by putting my thumb over the syringe, over the hole of the syringe, and pumping this, and it should hold pressure up to about 12 psi. And it is. That means we have nice tight fittings everywhere. It's holding the pressure really, really well. And that's the entire milking machine. So basically what will happen is this will be on the goat. You're pumping, vacuum pressure through this line. It's creating a vacuum inside of the mason jar, which is then, sucking through here, and the milk will run directly into the mason jar. So tonight, when Sarah needs to milk our goat, we'll go along. I'll record as she is using this so that you guys can see exactly how it works.
So let's test this new milker out. I'm gonna grab Rory, bring her onto the milking stand, and see how it works. So starting out with the milker, you start out with your goat exactly the way you would if you were hand milking. And for me, that includes, number one, giving her some food to keep her busy, and number two, cleaning her udder and her teats. Just like hand milking, you're going to want to strip the teats of old milk that could have some bacteria in it, and check to make sure that everything's okay. So I have the new milker here. I am actually going to rest the jar down on the ground. If you would like to build a shelf so that it, stays closer or whatever, that's up to you. That might work well for you, but it works fine for me to just have it on the ground. So get all your tubes ready. I rest the brake bleeder portion on my lap. And I work it, down here on my lap. But first I'm going to position the syringe on the first teat. And I always start with the one that's toward the outside. And this one fits nicely over her teat. I hold it there as I put the suction on. And I've been doing about 7 to 10 psi. And then what I have found works best is to massage the udder at the same time. You can see the milk coming out and going down into the tube. I massage the udder, and then I'm watching to make sure that the pressure stays up. Because her teat is a little wet right now, it's losing a little bit of pressure, and that's normal. Once they dry out, it won't do that. You can see that there's milk in there. It's coming out of the teat, down into the hose, and it's going right into the bottle. See how that's working? See that dripping in there? It's working really well. So I'll just keep doing this, massaging and keeping the pressure up until there's no more milk coming out and I can feel that her udder is empty, that side of her udder. And then I'll switch over to the next teat and do the other side of her udder.
Well, I would call that a success with the milker. Do you think it worked as well as the other one?
Absolutely, got just over half of a quart of milk.
Nice. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this. Like I said earlier, this is a great tool to have on your homestead, even if it's just something you make and only use in an emergency situation when, you know, like say Sarah, you know, got sick and couldn't come out and milk and suddenly I had to be responsible for that for a few days, or one of the kids did. This is a great tool to have around just so that people who aren't used to milking on a regular basis can handle that job. So if this is your first time visiting our homestead, I hope that you'll hit that subscribe button before you leave. If you're one of our traditionalists who comes back every day, thank you guys so much. Hey, let us know what you thought about this, if you have any questions or comments. If you know someone who would like this video, don't forget to share it on all your social media. And until next time, thanks for stopping by the homestead. Take care, and God bless.
God bless.